Right, let's explore this a bit further. More insight now on the chip shortage. Here's Dan Ives. He's Managing Director of Equity Research at Wedbush Securities. And Dan, I gather you're on the line from the Tar Heel State, North Carolina, to us. Welcome to the program. You know, I was thinking about this. It's kind of hard, isn't it, really, to think of anything that is made these days anywhere in the world that actually doesn't have a microchip in it. Do you agree?
Yeah, and I think what we've seen with the shortage, it's caused really an overhang, not just on tech, but automotive, and especially more and more 5G, full self-driving. You're seeing chips across the board, and I think that's why this has been a major wake-up call, but unfortunately, a Herculean sort of uphill battle given the chip shortage here.
Now, play along with me, if you will. I thought I saw a report on CBS television here a couple of weeks ago saying that what happened at the beginning of this pandemic was that the big three automakers basically phoned up Asia and said, don't worry about sending us any more chips, won't need them, no one's going to buy any cars. And of course, the exact opposite happened. Have you heard that?
Well, and remember, when they did that, two people by the name of Tim Cook and Elon Musk were like, you know what, those chips, we'll take them. And I think it just speaks to why Apple and Tesla have been able to navigate the chip shortage better than any other tech or automotive plays out there, because they're at the front of the line. And it's an overhang because, look, when you look at electric vehicles, I mean, this is a green tidal wave playing out. It's now been pushed out 6, 9, 12 months. You see it from NIO and XPeng and others in China to what we're seeing in the U.S. And it's a big issue. In my opinion, it's the biggest overhang on tech stocks.
Now, you raised those Chinese companies there. What is China's role in the global production of microchip semiconductors? I don't actually know. I mean, what role does it play in getting it going again, do you think?
Look, I mean, the reality for the better part of the next decade, I mean, the supply chain continues to be cemented in Asia, across, whether it's Taiwan, China, and really across the board from Vietnam to others. And that's not going to change. Look, and I think you've seen Apple. Apple's doubled down on China in terms of from a production perspective. I think what Intel's doing is smart. But also remember, Intel is not in a position of strength. They're in a position of weakness going after like AMD, NVIDIA, and others.
Yeah, well, that's right, because Intel is just buying Tower of Israel in order to make more chips to send around the world. And as you saw in Owen's report there, they're building this big plant in Ohio. But I mean, won't that take forever to bring online, really, despite their best intentions?
Well, that's why that doesn't change anything in the near term. And right now, from an investor perspective, look at NVIDIA earnings and others. Streets focus on next 12 to 18 months. That's great for 2025. But ultimately, right now, that is a big worrying trend that we're seeing across the world, given this chip shortage, where demand is significantly outstripping supply.
And yet Ford and GM, I think especially Ford, suggested in their latest quarterly earnings that actually the chip shortage was coming to an end. I mean, why would they say that?
Well, I think we're starting to see the chip shortage moderate. I think going into, March and April, based on our checks in the supply chain. I think you've seen that for comments from Apple, GM, and others, but it's not going to, it's not going to moderate the pace the street wants to see. And that's why this is going to be an overhang, but it's going to be a Game of Thrones battle to get those chips. And that really, whoever gets those, they're the winners. And that's why, look at Apple. That stock has held up better really than any other tech player because Tim Cook's the front of the line.
And are governments to be found wanting on this issue in any way? It's kind of difficult to know what a government might do in a crisis like this regarding semiconductors, but are they?
Look, I think right now it's a complex environment because everyone needs chips, and you're seeing, battles across the board in terms of trying to get it, because otherwise, as much as governments could get involved, it's really more posturing because they're not going to really be able to do anything in the near term. And that's why I think the strong will get stronger during the chip shortage.
Well, Dan, you've made that very clear, and we're grateful to you from the Tar Heel State tonight. Thanks very much.
Thank you.